Hey, this is Joe from Citrus County Porch Life, bringing you a daily word from men for December 30th, 2024. And the word for today is respect. Show yourself in all respects to be a model of good works, and in your teaching, show integrity, dignity, and sound speech that cannot be condemned, so that an opponent may be put to shame, having nothing evil to say about you. And that is from Titus chapter 2, verse 7 and 8. And here's the commentary. There are men in our lives that command respect. They are mostly seasoned with salt and pepper here, perhaps a little oversalted in a good way. They are calm, respectful, patient, and demonstrate consideration of others. Even when they have strong opinions on matters, they wait to express them. And if they don't have the opportunity, they would rather listen anyway. It provokes greater thought within themselves. They ponder the life of the young man they used to be and how much they have learned since that time. Their actions are intentionally self sacrificing, strengthening others, even at their own expense. The objective of their lives is to finish well, serving others so that the confidence and muster to pass the same on to the next generation. And the question is, what do you do to inspire respect in the next generation? I had to think about this a while. I put, I try to live according to the word, and when asked, explain why. Uh, Many people don't even want to say that they're acting biblically because it seems to be called a Christo-fascist like me, a super conservative, and I consider myself conservative in areas of faith, but I want to help everybody. Uh, Two, I have the humility to accept any task given to me. Uh, that happened a lot in my nursing career, uh, where I was asked if I wanted to be a CNA for the day. They needed one on another floor, which meant, a lot of personal care that the nurses no longer have time to do. They're tied up with paperwork. I said, sure, I can do that. I became a nurse to help. And three, be more of an action man. Be a man of action, not only of words. There are so many people. Uh, I mentioned once before, I think, my grandfather. So my grandfather would ask my father to do a lot. And at that time, when I was 5, the, the children alive at that time were myself, my sister Virginia, and my brother Michael. My brothers John, Matthew, and Mark had died. Matthew and Mark died they were born prematurely and they lived several days, but they knew that they weren't going to live long. And I got to meet them. My mother wanted them to know that they were loved. I got to touch them. They were little tiny babies. And my brother John drowned. So uh, I forgot what I was talking about. Oh, my grandfather would ask my father to do a lot. And he had more kids than his brothers and sisters at that time. Well, all through his life he did. I mean, he ended up with 10. Um, and my grandfather said to me, I ask your father because he's always busy doing something. He said, the other people talk but don't do anything. And my father had, I'd be like the go-between between my father and my grandfather. And I told my father what my grandfather said, and I tell my grandfather what my father said. Because my father resented, why don't you ask them? I got kids, I got a job, I got to work, I'm working overtime. And, but my father would always get it done for my grandfather, always. And so I learned that busy people have the time. People who aren't busy and don't do anything don't have the time. So that was one of the things that I wanted to, when I grew up, I wanted to be a man of action, not words, not yes, I'll do it and not do it. If I commit to doing something, I'll do it. And it's held me in good stead since then. So that's my take on it. I don't have anything profound to say about it, but just my experience. And yeah, my father was a busy guy, but he had the time for each and every one of his kids. Luckily, they came over a period of 14 years. And so, I was a teenager when my brother was born, 14. I was 15 when my youngest brother was born. So there was a big difference because when he was 2, I was going off to college. He thought I got drafted. And when I came home from school, he was so happy. He thought I was going to Vietnam, but I wasn't even old enough to get drafted till my senior year in college because I was a young student. And I don't know why I brought that up. It was just a memory that I had. So, have a safe and a holy December 30th. See you tomorrow on the 31st. And then hopefully, as we begin 2025, we'll go back to the beginning of this because I never did the beginning of this book. I picked up around sometime at the end of June. So I'm figuring we can go 6 months with this, the front part of it. One of the guys at my church, I was sitting there. I get early because I have a hard time walking. So I was sitting in a chair, and he knows I like these books. And he got me a new devotional book, kind of like this, a little different, but it does have questions. And I thought, well, when I finish off this book, maybe we can do that. Because I like to have something to follow every day and not get, you know, uh, not get lost in my own thoughts. Rather have something down here that'll make me focus, like hold my head to it and say, "This is what you're talking about today. Respect." So, God bless, and see you tomorrow.